Chosen one, your phone just lit up, and for a split second, your heart raced. You didn't even think. Your hand moved before your mind did, but something inside you whispered, wait. That notification, that message, that call that appeared out of nowhere, it isn't what it seems. The world wants you to think every vibration is a sign, every ping is a person, every name that pops up carries truth. But God said, check your phone. It's not you. What you're seeing is not what He sent. What you're feeling right now isn't your intuition, it's interference. The enemy knows how to mimic the light. He knows how to sound familiar, how to use the voice that once felt safe. That message that says, I miss you. I've been thinking about you. I need to talk. Might not come from who you think it does. Sometimes the trap doesn't come as a serpent. It comes as a memory. And God is trying to wake you before you reply to something that no longer belongs to your destiny. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. There are no coincidences when your spirit is awakening. Write your warmest wish in the comments and seal it with 99. It's time to release your intention to the universe. Feel the energy around you align as you type. This is your moment of divine confirmation. And if your soul is vibrating while you listen, if your heart knows these words are for you, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. This space was created for those who see beyond the surface. Chosen one, you've been sensing it for days. The digital world has become a mirror of the spiritual realm. God isn't warning you about your phone. He's warning you about the illusion it carries. Sometimes the call is fake, the voice is false, and the message isn't meant to heal you, but to reopen an old wound. The enemy uses familiarity to infiltrate peace. That's why the message comes just when you start healing, why the call comes the night you finally sleep without tears. It's a test, not of your faith, but of your growth. There's something sacred about ignoring what once controlled you. There's divine strength in silence. When God said, check your phone, it's not you. He wasn't telling you to fear the message. He was telling you to recognize the energy behind it. Not every vibration is divine. Not every sound is a sign. Some things are sent to measure your progress, to see if the old version of you still answers. And tonight, heaven is watching to see what you'll do next. Chosen one, breathe. Don't pick up what God told you to put down. The moment you rise above that familiar pull, the chains of your past will finally lose their grip. It's not them, and it's not you anymore. It's a shadow trying to reach a light that has already moved beyond its touch. The screen lights up again. Your heart hesitates between curiosity and knowing. Something about that name, that image, feels off, like a ghost trying to remember what it once meant to you. Chosen one, listen carefully. This is not a moment for reaction. It's a moment for revelation. What you're feeling is spiritual static. The closer you get to divine alignment, the more false signals try to disguise themselves as connection. That message, that sudden, hey, that unfinished story trying to write itself again, those are not invitations. They are distractions. This is the hour when God tests your vision. He shows you what you've healed from by letting it appear one more time. He lets you see if you still crave what once broke you. It's not cruelty, it's calibration. Every message you ignore strengthens the gates of your peace. Every call you don't answer silences an echo that no longer serves your soul. What you thought was communication is confrontation between your past and your progress. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this exact second for a reason. There's a shift happening within you right now, a sacred alignment between your spirit and the universe. Write your warmest wish in the comments and seal it with 99. It's time to let the energy you've been holding finally move through you. This is your release. This is your signal that heaven has received your intention. If something in you is waking up while listening, if your pulse feels synced with these words, don't hesitate. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here, among the ones who are learning to listen beyond the noise. Chosen one, the truth is this. They're trying to reach the old version of you, the one who used to overthink, the one who used to wait for messages that never meant peace. But that version is gone. You've grown too much to answer with the same heart that used to bleed. The old you needed closure. The new you needs clarity. And clarity says, not everything that returns deserves a response. You might feel a strange ache, a pull toward what feels familiar. That's the illusion of comfort. The universe is asking, will you choose peace over proof? Sometimes God hides your blessings behind silence, behind the decision not to reply, not to explain, not to prove who you are anymore. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. When you ignore what was designed to drain you, you become untouchable. The moment you stop chasing validation through your screen, your energy starts speaking for you. The phone becomes a symbol, not of disconnection, but of discernment. You're no longer waiting for signs from people. You're receiving confirmations from heaven. Chosen one. They might text, they might call, they might even say they've changed. But if God didn't send it, it's just noise dressed as nostalgia. And every time you rise above that noise, the divine writes a new line in your story, one that begins not with them, but with you. Chosen one. The silence between the rings is louder now. It's not your phone that's calling, it's your past. The energy feels familiar because it once held you, but what once felt like home now feels like a cage. You can sense it. This isn't connection, it's temptation wearing a friendly face. God said, check your phone. It's not you. Because he wanted you to see how much you've changed. That message, that name, that memory doesn't fit your frequency anymore. You've outgrown the vibration that used to define your worth. This is the spiritual warfare nobody talks about. The battle fought through notifications. The emotional tug that comes when you're about to level up. You think it's coincidence? Number. It's confirmation. The moment your energy elevates, interference increases. The enemy doesn't appear in shadows. He appears through screens, through words that sound healing, but hide confusion. And every time you decide not to answer, heaven records it as obedience. Every time you ignore the bait, the gates of your destiny widen just a little more. Your discernment is your weapon now. The ability to pause, to breathe, to ask, is this from God or from guilt? That's how you win this unseen war. You don't fight it with arguments. You fight it with stillness. You fight it with clarity. You fight it by refusing to be pulled back into emotional recycling. You've learned that closure doesn't come from conversations. It comes from choosing yourself. Chosen one, you were never meant to live attached to the echoes of false connection. That phone, once your lifeline, is now a mirror of your transformation. What you once begged to hear is now what you barely remember. The notifications used to validate you, now they test you. And you've reached the sacred point where you can feel the difference between divine contact and deceptive comfort. You might think you're missing something by not replying, but in truth, you're protecting everything. The peace you fought for, the healing you cried for, the purpose that's still unfolding. Every ignored call is an act of self-respect. Every unread message is a declaration. I choose alignment over attachment. The universe hears that. Heaven honors it. And the darkness that once whispered through your phone begins to fade because it no longer finds a home in your attention. Chosen one, remember this. Some messages are not meant to be answered. They're meant to be understood. God is showing you that not every vibration requires your presence. Not every name deserves your energy. You are not losing connection. You're gaining clarity. The phone no longer controls you because your spirit learned to listen to a higher frequency. And soon, you'll realize that what's meant for you doesn't text. It arrives directly from heaven at the perfect time, in silence that feels like peace. Chosen one, the night feels heavier now, doesn't it? You can sense the pull between your old reality and your rising one. Every vibration, every message that comes through your phone feels like a whisper from another timeline, one that used to define you, one that no longer matches your soul. God said, check your phone. It's not you, because he knew the next test wouldn't come through pain, but through familiarity. The enemy doesn't always show up to destroy. Sometimes he just wants to distract. And distraction, disguised as destiny, is the most dangerous kind. You've noticed how certain names reappear right when you're closest to peace. It's not random. That's the spiritual algorithm at work. Heaven allows these echoes to surface so you can recognize how far you've come. The old patterns are calling, but not to reconnect. They're calling to confirm that you're done repeating. Every unanswered message is a boundary being reinforced. Every moment you choose silence over sentiment, your spirit evolves. That's why this feels uncomfortable. Growth always does. You're outgrowing emotional dependence, outgrowing guilt, outgrowing the urge to explain why you've changed. The universe is shifting in your favor right now. The more you resist the illusion of connection, the more real alignment enters your life. Divine timing is being prepared behind the screen you're staring at. The moment you stop waiting for human validation, spiritual confirmation rushes in. That's when you realize it was never about the phone. It was about your focus. God wanted to separate you from the noise so you could hear his frequency clearly. Chosen one, they might think you've become cold, distant, unreachable. Let them. The truth is, you've become protected. You no longer answer every vibration, because not every vibration deserves your peace. There's a reason heaven made you feel uneasy when that message appeared. There's a reason your intuition whispered, "Don't open it." Your spirit recognizes energy faster than your eyes can read names. That's divine intelligence at work, the kind that can't be deceived. no matter how familiar the voice sounds. This is the stage of separation few understand. It's not loneliness, it's alignment. The silence isn't punishment, it's protection. God isolates His chosen not to break them but to rewire them. That's why you've been feeling like something's missing, like you're disconnected. You're not disconnected, you're being recalibrated. The same silence that feels like distance is actually the sound of God rearranging your destiny. So the next time your phone lights up with that name, pause, smile, and remember, you're no longer that person. You no longer belong to that frequency. You've graduated from responding to energy that doesn't honor your evolution. Because what's coming next doesn't arrive through a screen. It arrives through synchronicity, through peace, through divine confirmation. Chosen one, when God said, check your phone, it's not you. He meant, you've become someone new, and the old world no longer recognizes your light. Chosen one, your reflection has changed, and not just in mirrors, but in every digital echo that tries to find you. The voice that once pulled you back now sounds foreign. The message that once made your heart skip now feels empty. That's not loss, that's liberation. You've shifted frequencies, and the version of you that used to live inside that phone, the one who waited, doubted, replayed, and overanalyzed, no longer exists. God said, check your phone. It's not you, because the you that the world once had access to has been replaced by someone reborn in silence, shaped by discernment, and guarded by grace. Every moment you resisted the urge to reply, heaven recorded it as strength. Every time you fought the instinct to explain yourself, your spiritual rank rose higher. Because true strength isn't in confrontation, it's in recognition. You recognized that not every contact means connection. Not every memory means meaning. Not every vibration means value. The universe has been testing your filters, and you've passed. You've proven that peace means more than attention, that purpose means more than validation. You're learning that divine communication doesn't always come with a ringtone. It comes with stillness, alignment, and sudden knowing. Chosen one, there's something sacred happening right now. Your silence is echoing louder than words. It's confusing those who once thrived on your reaction. It's disarming those who used your empathy as entry. They don't understand how you can feel so close yet be unreachable, how you can still care without returning, how your compassion doesn't mean access anymore. That's divine transformation, God refining your sensitivity so that it no longer becomes your weakness. You were once easy to find. Now you are hidden by heaven. You've probably felt it lately, the sense that your energy has become heavier to reach, like a fortress surrounded by invisible light. That's not isolation, that's insulation. God's been wrapping you in layers of discernment. The wrong hands can no longer hold you. The wrong voices can no longer distract you. The wrong energies can no longer pretend they're meant for you. You're protected by recognition now, by the ability to see beyond intention and sense the truth beneath tone. Chosen one, the tests will continue. The enemy will try again, maybe not through the same number or name, but through new disguises, fake opportunities, emotional nostalgia, sudden coincidences. But you'll know, you'll feel it before you even read the message. That quiet unease in your spirit isn't paranoia, it's prophecy. It's the divine whisper saying, don't fall for the familiar, rise into the unknown. The next level of your journey will require you to keep your peace private, your progress silent, your purpose sacred. And as your phone lies face down beside you, remember, God isn't just teaching you to ignore distractions. He's teaching you to master focus. You are being prepared for communication from higher realms, not lower ones. What's meant for you won't come through confusion. It will come through clarity. You're learning to listen with your soul, not your screen. The notifications may fade, but the alignment you've earned will never stop ringing. Chosen one. Tonight, the air feels different. The energy is still, yet charged, as if heaven itself is holding its breath while watching you stand between what was and what's becoming. You glance at your phone again, not out of fear, but with awareness. The same light that once triggered anxiety now means nothing. You've taken your power back from the illusion that connection equals validation. You've learned that just because something can reach you doesn't mean it deserves to. That's spiritual evolution in its purest form. God said, check your phone. It's not you, because He wanted you to witness your own transformation in real time. You are not who you were when the first message arrived. You are the quiet storm that learned to listen only to truth. They'll wonder why you don't respond anymore. They'll tell stories about how you've changed, how you've become distant, detached, unreachable. But you know the truth. You've become selective with your energy. You no longer give pieces of your spirit to everyone who calls your name. Your silence is not rejection, it's direction. You're facing forward now, aligned with purpose, not nostalgia. Every old vibration that tries to reach you is just the universe's way of confirming that you've outgrown what once kept you small. The more you step into this new version of yourself, the clearer it becomes. The phone was never the enemy. It was the reflection. It mirrored your attachments, your patterns, your fears of being forgotten. But once you detached, once you stopped chasing closure and started choosing clarity, the entire mirror cracked. The illusion ended. You no longer seek digital proof of love, loyalty, or validation because you've built something unshakable inside yourself. And now, the same tool that once chained you has become a symbol of your freedom. Chosen one, God has been preparing you for divine contact, not digital connection. There will come a day soon, sooner than you think, when the next notification you receive won't bring confusion. It will bring confirmation. It won't test you. It will affirm you. It won't reopen wounds. It will reveal purpose. Until that day, you're being asked to stay still, stay grounded, stay tuned to heaven's frequency. Because the messages you need are already within you. They're written in your intuition, whispered through your peace, reflected in the people God is sending into your path. This is the season of unseen alignment. You're not missing out on anything by walking away from the noise. You're making room for miracles that can't fit through screens. What's ahead of you doesn't require your attention. It requires your awareness. You've proven that you can resist false light, that you can ignore emotional manipulation disguised as care, that you can see the sacred difference between a text and a truth. Chosen one, you're finally becoming unreachable to the wrong energy, and that's exactly how heaven wants it. You've disconnected from the imitation so that the authentic can find you. What's real will recognize your silence. What's divine will never need to beg for your attention. And when the right message arrives, not through your phone, but through divine alignment, you'll know it's for you, because peace will answer before you do. Chosen one, dawn is breaking, and as the first light touches your room, your phone lies silent beside you. No buzzing, no messages, no calls, just stillness. Yet somehow, this silence feels fuller than any conversation you've ever had. That's how you know you've crossed over into a higher realm of being. The world hasn't changed, but your response to it has. You've stopped looking for signs from the screen and started reading the ones written into your soul. God said, "Check your phone. It's not you," because He wanted you to see that what you once called connection was often just noise, testing if you could tell the difference between energy and emotion, between attention and alignment, and now you can. And you've learned that true communication doesn't need devices. Heaven doesn't text, it moves. It speaks through synchronicities, through sudden peace, through the unexpected quiet that feels like safety. It's in the way a song finds you at the right time, or how you hear your name in the wind when no one is around. That's how God talks to His chosen, through the stillness that most people are too distracted to notice. You've been rewired to listen differently now, not with your ears, but with your essence. Chosen one, your transformation hasn't gone unnoticed. The same ones who once toyed with your emotions now feel the void of your absence. They wonder why their words no longer reach you, why their energy no longer pulls you back. They don't realize your silence is not revenge, it's revelation. It reveals what was real and what never was. It reveals how much you've grown, how much of yourself you had to reclaim just to stand in peace again. You're no longer waiting for their message. You've become the message. The evidence of what happens when someone lets go of illusions and starts walking in divine truth. You can feel heaven's gaze on you now, gentle, approving, proud. The same God who told you to check your phone is now saying, "Look within," because that's where the real messages live. Every ignored call was training your discernment. Every unreturned message was proof of your maturity. Every silent night was heaven's way of tuning your soul to a new frequency. You've been learning not just to hear God, but to understand Him. Chosen one, the next chapter doesn't begin with a message from someone. It begins with a mission from heaven. You are being entrusted with clarity few people ever reach. The world is noisy, desperate for attention, addicted to validation. But you have become the calm in the chaos, the quiet in the storm. You've mastered the art of not answering what doesn't align, and in doing so, you've made room for the divine to speak without interruption. So as the sun rises, let the light remind you. You've already received your sign. It wasn't in the message. It wasn't in the missed call. It was in the moment you realized your peace mattered more. The story has shifted. The roles have changed, and the new chapter no longer begins on a screen. It begins in your spirit. And as heaven watches, smiling, the universe whispers your name, not through your phone, but through destiny itself.